Alrighty, welcome to another episode of, that's my welcome noise of the train riding away into the sunrise. Welcome to the podcast, welcome to another episode, it's a very formal, where, I'm coming back of a week of rest and relaxation and getting chewed the fuck up by mosquitoes. Hey, by the way, I'm doing this early in the morning because I was supposed to do a recording with somebody in the North American continent, and I was sitting waiting for them to join. They haven't yet joined as we speak, or as I speak, and as you listen, they're still not joining. But by the time you listen, I'm sure they still haven't joined, because I don't know. So, cancelled my yoga class to wake up. Not wake up, I'm up, but to attend this call, and the human has not corresponded on the other end of the ether. So I figured, sitting here like a sprightly young cock in the morning with all the setup, and it's not that much setup, but all the setup, and I figured, hey, let me do this for you lovely people, despite not having a guest. So I hope everything's good on your end, or on all ends. But so we were in Goa last week, and it was fantastic because we didn't go to the crowded places, and it is crowded. That's what I've heard. You know, the idea of, okay, let me tell you one thing though. Don't ever eat bad food. Or don't eat out before traveling, and don't eat. There's this place in Bangalore which serves Mexican food, and my wife ordered from this place on Friday night before we flew to Goa on Saturday morning, and she got so fucked by the food there, man. She was just really unwell through the flight. She threw up on the flight. She was really ill in the car ride to the airport, from the airport. So it was miserable. So I'm not going to eat at that place for sure. But fortunately she recovered, and she could at least then, because the things we all kind of have the sense of craving, and we have the sense of when I go to this place I'm going to do so and so. So she had this sense of, when I go to this place in Goa, which we've stayed at before, she's going to eat these dishes. She really was sort of craving those things, and she couldn't for the first few days, and I was like, oh man, feeling very bad for her, drinking my drink, going no, but I didn't feel that. I just felt bad that she couldn't, but fortunately she recovered in time to get what she wanted. But there was this sense, and this place is quite private because it's just naturally cut off from the mainstream beach because of the lay of the land. There's a creek running through it, and it just in high tide it gets cut off. But I'll tell you a couple of things I sensed about it, right? I'll tell you three things, okay? And I'm going to say it out up front, because in case I forget, you can message me saying, you piece of shit, you forgot the third point. But anyway, the first one I'm going to talk about is this idea of how insignificant we are as an individual, because the scale and the scope, and how many human beings inhabit a certain space, right? The second one is how dirty people fucked up the beaches. And I know I've gone on about Greta Thunberg in the past couple of episodes, but there's not so much about climate change, but it's just about fucking people being filthy. And the last one is about how people use, how you can't use money as a gauge for exposure or an open mindset or the willingness to change, or even how good a place can be. So let me try covering those. This is more like a lecture. So the first point, I think I already forgot the first point. So when you're sitting in these places, man, there's this sense, right? I was sitting and I was just sensing this constant, the surf crashing, and there's a constant, ebb and flow of the waves. And you just realize that you're on one small little piece of beach, or maybe sitting in the cottage overlooking the beach. And then you realize you're on one small little part of a little town inside a state, and then you kind of realize that small state is one smaller state within a bunch of other states. It just exponentially makes you realize how much is going on I mean, and the ocean is one of those things, right? The sea in this case, one of those things that gives you a sense of how minute your existence is, and how, how fucking crazy that we hold on to a sense of time in the city, right? When we are kind of going about our day, doing things, we have this finite way of looking at how our structure and our existence is kind of determined by this time, this clock that we've created. And then we hold on to grudges, we hold on to emotions longer than we need to. And then you sit there in this fucking beach looking at this ocean and looking at the sea, in this case, in my case, North Sea, haha. And it was just crazy. And I think we all, because this beach gives you a sense of being a little bit of privacy. Unlike, of course, a lot of the beaches now in Goa, which are just packed with Bollywood music, or just music and EDM, or I'm not just making this about any language, but just filled with people, and it's noisy, and yeah, everyone deserves the beach, everyone has access to it, and I'm not saying privilege, any of that bullshit, but if you can truly appreciate a beach for this sense of how it brings you down to the basics and reminds you of how impermanent, of how, I wouldn't say, yeah, permanent, but also how fleeting, and how nothing is permanent, actually not permanent. I mean, permanent is, in a way, everything is there, but like right now as I speak, the sea which I was sitting in front of is still doing its own thing. It's not worrying about how do I do a podcast, right? It's so but you kind of realize how vast and how old, and how, you know, things are going to go on and are going to happen irrespective of your woes and your anger and the things you hold on to, the attachment you hold on to, the emotions you hold on to. And I think it's a good reset that people, especially in the city, can do for themselves, because we get so sort of caught up in our own fucking life and our own sort of mind, that when you sit here, and you can obviously sit there and still be on your phone and be caught up in the same cycle, but if you can get a glimpse of, wait a second, what the fuck have I been doing? Why the fuck am I angry with this guy? With that, just, it puts things in perspective. It makes you realize that, hey, dude, you're not that important. So I think that's a good one. So you should try it. Try finding a quiet beach. And I think you can find a quiet place anywhere where you go. Just the sense of the ocean is so much more powerful than some other things, like maybe, whatever, maybe even a stream, just the flow, the rivers, I think the sense, what I'm trying to say is the vastness of nature, and the age, the kind of I would say I think the idea that things happened, and they're not in your control. And sometimes you look at even like these massive trees, and you just look at the way that they are there without sort of, worrying about right now or tomorrow, but it's sort of the longer scheme of time. And we just get caught up in as I said, the clock that we've created. But at the same time, you kind of then look at the way in which we, like, from 2000 and say 95, 96, when I was first my uncle and aunt took me to go out the first time, maybe it was early, I don't know, to now in 24 years, which of course is a drop in the ocean, right? No pun intended. But as time goes, for us it's like 24 years. How old were you then, or whatever, right? But in actually the scheme of things, it's nothing. But the amount of development is fine. I think it's good that more people, and you have more access, you have more city comforts, creature comforts in Goa, and you don't have to go through the mangroves, get bitten by snakes or bugs. And many of us from the city, which are like, oh, gross, like cockroaches, whatever, right? And they have certain things which come with a certain geography. Like, you can enjoy the pristine beaches and oceans, but it does come with, okay, you're not going to have power, you're not going to have this, you have to live that life, which many people are willing to do. And if you're going to go through that and do it, good for you. That's when you can enjoy nature and it's all its purity and its beauty, and also the stuff that comes with it, because nature's not sterilized, right? It's not all clean. It comes with insects, it comes with whatever. But that's another thing that you have to figure. It's a personal choice. But I'm talking about this indiscriminate kind of chopping and cutting, and there's absolutely no kind of balance, right? We go to one extreme to another extreme, where we're just fucking disgusting, man. Like the morning after we landed, we walked down, and there's like dead fish. And I don't know enough, so I might sound ignorant. People are like, yeah, of course dead fish wash up on the beach, you idiot. That's where they think, and they're taken away in the tide. But there's a lot more dead things we saw on the beach, a lot more plastic washed up. So it was, I'm not saying but yeah, there is a lot more I think visible filth that is there. Earlier it was kind of just like sucked into the oceans and never came back, but now it is. And this guy who owns the place, like, man, you're looking at this now, but we just had to clean up like 5 truckloads of oil which had come up from Maharashtra and Karnataka and washed up on this beach. And so I don't know about climate change, I don't know about global warming, but we are definitely fucking using indiscriminately using nature as a dumping ground without understanding that it's going to affect us the worst, because nature is not like one of those things going, ah ha ha ha. It's just like, you know what, it's going to come back to you because you live in me, I don't live in you. So just to remind yourself that it's not about anything for 100 years and our future generations. If you shit all over the place, that shit is going to come back and fucking tap on your door. So when you're sitting on that beach paying a massive fee for your room, going, I want pristine beaches, just remember the shit that you put out last week is going to wash up and say hello. Yeah, I think that's quicker reminder than conferences or this thing. Just tell someone, hey, don't shit where you eat, don't eat where you shit, and make sure that, you know what you're going to put in, just like how what you put into your body is going to treat you well or treat you badly depending on how you depending on what you put in. Similarly, if you keep throwing plastic into the water, if you keep fucking using 50 liters of plastics, it's going to come back, and it's going to come back sooner than later. Earlier it was like, oh, out of sight, out of mind. Nope, not that long before out of sight. Doesn't matter, it's there. Someone else's shit, and it's easy to point, right? Oh, these people came and littered. No, your shit is somewhere else, their shit is here. So it's all connected, my friends. And I'm to blame. I'm not saying that this is you and me are two different people. We're all part of the same problem. And my shit is probably washed up in your beach, and your shit is probably washed up in my beach. So, and this is the thing, right? We think that we pay more money. And see how I seamlessly moved into my third point of reflection. Because I think there is this attachment that the more you spend, the more your experience should be unique and pleasurable. And of course, I think to a certain materialistic creature comfort way, yeah, the more you pay, you get a better room, you get a cleaner room, you get a more pristine sort of experience with the interiors, you get something in a fancier brand, a better chain, a better resort. But it doesn't mean the experience is better. Like, it's also now again a personal choice. Some person might want the most amazing Swedish massage with the jacuzzi, steam, sauna, ice bath, whatever they're looking for. And they might want like the most amazing spread at the buffet. They might want the most personalized meal by the chef who's got a like Michelin star, who's went to some particular school. That they might want a certain collection of wines, and they want the list to be expansive and not exhaustive. I think that's the wrong word. And you know, each person has their own thing. Like this kind, they want a caviar, whatever. But then you go to a place where you're paying more than average. You're paying more, but you don't get these, but you get an experience, which is what we had. We had to walk about a kilometer. Back and forth was 1.5 kilometers for breakfast, for your meals. You're walking through these sort of shrubs and grasses which have a path running through. You're going to get bitten by insects. You're going to go there, and you know, some people are like, oh, this already sounds like a nightmare. Why the fuck would you pay for that? But then you get to the cottage, which is not, of course, got a jacuzzi, but you've got a basic clean room, clean shower, air condition, and you step out and you're on the beach. And someone else will be like, dude, that sounds like luxury. Someone else will be like, that sounds like fucking a miserable holiday. So money doesn't guarantee exclusivity in all cases. Like, you can go pay 50 grand a night for a room in India. Of course, it changes the currency and the price, but you can go like in the heart of like the biggest 5-star and still have crowds. You can have people, because right now with India kind of burgeoning with a lot of money, you can have people throwing money and still you can have shitloads of crowds. And for me, crowds bothers me. Just, you know, and I don't want to go to Goa or go to a place which I want peace and quiet, and I get a lot of, I can go to a 5-star in Bangalore and I can still, or whichever fancy restaurant, and have those crowds. So I want to get away from the crowd. And now I'm a different person. Earlier I would be like in the thick of the action, but now I just want to chill. And I'm telling you, it's not something that, I thought I would appreciate, but now just doing what I do here in Bangalore, going there and doing the same thing, which may be waking up, walking on the beach with my wife, doing some maybe breathing or maybe my yoga class or whatever, and then chilling, listening, and just listening to my audiobook or whatever I may do. And I don't want that 50 grand room that whatever comes along with it, and then waiting in lines for the buffet, and then getting all this thing, and I like this. But then you have these people who want to sort of just get these, I'm not saying everyone, but there's some people who want to be seen at these places, and they also have this notion, right? But then there's some people who want the wilderness just because they have the right check-in, because everyone's talking about this, going, oh my God, it's so sustainable. So it takes all. But I think just like anything else, and I suppose I'm just trying to understand where I'm coming from with this point, is you got to figure out what you want and just try and do that, because, man, every place is getting crowded. And from the first time I went to go out now, it's just everything is fucking crowded. So yeah, you got to figure out what you want to do and enjoy it while you can, because we are touching bursting point as a people. So enjoy it while you can, and let's wait and see what happens. So yeah, that's my 3 points. Well captured. I didn't forget anything. I'm so proud of myself. And yeah, still waiting for that guest who hasn't joined. I've kept the Zoom call live. I haven't recorded. Don't worry. So yeah, I hope you guys are well. And of course, be happy if you guys share this with a friend or with anyone you think will like what I have to say. And as always, hope you're safe and well. Till next time, goodbye. God bless. Take care of yourselves. Cheers.